Yeah, my name is Erick Barbor. I'm currently the head of strategy for Samsung Electronics America. So Samsung on a whole does many things, from shipbuilding to biosimilars. And of course, we do a lot in the technology space, in particular, semiconductors and anything that uses them. So, we're one of the biggest companies in the world. Our brand sits at 5th in Interbrand global rankings. Here in the US, our business centers on products many of you likely think about when you hear Samsung, largely phones, TVs, and appliances. So from an industry perspective, we're technology, but we also sit at the junction of consumer goods as well. What drew me to the industry? I'll focus on the technology side. I love thinking about how we can utilize technology-based innovation to solve problems. For me, technology is really inspiring in that way. And I was especially interested to work on products I could relate to, that I saw and used every day. I also love to think about how we can use the technology we're developing and innovating to sort of further improve the lives of others. As it relates to people successful in the space, easy answers, dreamers and things of that sort, which is probably true as well. But I think there's many different personality types, skills that could relate to what would enable someone to be successful. And I think as we talk about this, I can kind of tie those in along the way. I received a bachelor's and a master's in business. I had a concentration in finance from U of A. In general, my business studies were great in that they were very broad. As are the roles and responsibilities my job entails. So, I'm not a specialist in one thing. I'm more of a problem solver. And it's hard to predict what the next problem will be in my space. So it's likely entails I pull on a broad array of training and knowledge. And that's where I think that the degree helped me. I would actually start with, how we look and think about the sector as a whole. I think the definition of the sector centers on companies that manufacture electronics, develop software, build computers, and the like. Yeah, sure. But more importantly, to what end are they doing this? Like, what is their goal? Of course, some technology evolves in spaces we can't even think about or we don't even know we need. But much of the focus of my sector, our technology sector, starts with thinking from two lenses: customer pain points and customer passions. And your customer can be the end consumer or a business, but solving these things or enhancing these things is not only, essentially the genesis of business in itself, but is the driving factor behind the sector. The output of the companies in the technology sector contribute to nearly every other sector, both to help, advance industries and disrupt industries. Finance has fintech, real estate has prop tech, healthcare has health tech, the list goes on. So I would want the students to think about the breadth of the space and what it's trying to accomplish with its products. It's more about, it's more than Moore's law for components' sake. It's about advancing things all around us. So, seminars, trainings, all those are good. The best place to start is, what are we trying to solve for? And you can use technology, or there's some company in that space trying to do it. I think my advice is irrespective of industry. It really centers with talk to people. You can learn so much from others, and most folks are eager to help if you're genuine. Think about reading a book to learn something. Some folks have run 100 books on that topic. So think of what you could learn from them in 1 hour. Probably a lot, right? Another thing is to take a mindset that you learn from everything you do. Sometimes we get caught up in this idea that things are great or not great. That's very binary. But if you're always learning, obtaining new skills, seeing best practices, and also seeing what doesn't work, then at least you're moving forward. And that you create more opportunities for yourself. So bringing it back to tech, it's almost unfair because of how broad and amazing the technology sector is. And yes, I'm biased. So sure, you can get, right into the cutting edge R&D part of it. Great, but these ships need a lot of pieces to move. So you can be an accountant in tech, a lawyer in tech, supply chain for tech, marketing for tech, or inversely, you can use tech to evolve all of those spaces. So there's a way in for almost everyone in this sector. So my advice is, talk to people who are in tech, get inspired, and get started. First off, education is not only what you read in books. It's people skills, it's trying new things, it's failing and succeeding. To me, it's about learning to learn. Preparing yourself to own the unknown, as we say at Samsung. Some individuals know exactly what they want to be when they grow up. Great. But the rest of us, through learning, growing, and changing, are evolving our views through the new choices we made along the way. So beyond the lifelong friendships I made, the teams I proudly cheer for, or camaraderie I feel in a networking setting, I believe U of A gave me the space to learn how to learn. And it's still giving me that space and place even today. So I'm thankful for this because I believe there is no better lesson.